And welcome in again, everyone, to another edition of the BIS podcast, broadcasting live on the Marvin Network, where our goal is to bring you updates in local government technology. And hey, we love to mix in a little bit of fun as well. And we can't not mention fun without having the definition of fun on the podcast today, and that is our sales manager, Casey Osborne. Casey, how you doing, my man?
I'm great, brother. It's Friday. I've been looking forward to do a podcast with you for quite some time, so I'm doing great.
So this is the first time I've had you on the podcast. I thought we had you on another time, but this is the first time?
Man, I was in the background with some Marvin nonsense. I was framed a little bit on some what happened to Marvin. Turns out he was fine. He was at that Coldplay concert. But yeah, I was a suspect, if you will, in one of your podcasts. I didn't really like that one as much. Yeah.
I thought that face looked familiar to me for a second. I gotcha. But he was cleared of that because, as we know, Marvin faked his own death. So there you go. So, but hey, man, it's great to have you on the podcast, just yourself for the first time. And our topic today, Casey, as you know, is going to be going over leadership and how leadership can, affect your team, affect your company, but also just in general, what leadership means to us or means to you. So, Casey, first off, before we kind of get into that, I want you to tell a little bit about yourself because, again, you're not so much new to BIS. You've been with us you've been with us now a little bit over a year. And I got to say, it's been the best year of my life, and having a great manager like yourself. But not trying to dote on you or trying to get points there a little bit. But Casey, a little bit about yourself, in a year now at BIS. Well, first off, how'd you come to BIS, and what's it been like in the year that you've been here?
Well, it's been a great year. I've really learned a lot at BIS. I've really grown as a leader, as a manager, as a sales guy here. I love the fact that they push us to try new things, experiment. If you do fail, learn from those failures. So it's been a great year. I've enjoyed working with you and the sales team and everybody at BIS. It's just a great culture and a great group. But before BIS, I was in education. I was a teacher and a coach for roughly 12 years. I taught and coached anywhere from 6-year-olds to grown men and women during that 12 years. And I love coaching. I love teaching. I do think that is really synonymous with leadership. Being a good coach or a good leader is basically synonymous to me. So, but I was approached in 2016 with an offer that I really couldn't turn down, and an opportunity to spend more time with my kids and my family after 12 years of spending a lot of time with a lot of other people's kids. And so I took a sales gig based out of my hometown in Sulphur Springs, Texas. Very proud of my hometown. It was a family friend, and they had a business that was growing and booming and very similar to BIS, a great culture, great family-like atmosphere, and customer-centric, putting the customers first, doing right by the customer. So I really got my feet wet with sales there. I was there from 16 to about a year and a half ago. And I was just looking for a new challenge, Josh. I wanted to lead a team again. I wanted to grow more as a sales guy, as a manager. I wanted an opportunity to be a part of something new. Kind of got stuck in a rut, if you will. We were very successful at what we're doing, but it was just time for a change. And I had met some people in that industry, in that market, which was a market very similar to the market that BIS was in. And we had some mutual connections that knew our founders, Britt and Brandon, that knew Bree, that knew Mark. And I knew right away if they knew each other. And this gentleman told me that basically I wouldn't recommend you going to another job unless it was a great atmosphere and a great environment. And I respected this individual a ton. I said, well, please connect me, and met Britt, Brandon, Bree, and Mark, and Alex, and the whole executive crew. And just kind of from there, the rest is history. We got along. We kind of spoke the same language. I felt like they were going to give me an opportunity to lead a team pretty quick, and they did. They saw some of my strengths. They honored their word. They honored their commitment. So I'm grateful for the opportunity. I'm glad to be here, and I am learning every day. That's part of leadership. You can't always think you're at the top. You got to look around. You got to examine everything. So it's been great, and happy to be here, brother.
No, absolutely, man. We're great to have you on. Now, I got to ask you, and during that interview, did they ever mention that you'd have to be putting on costumes? I asked everybody that comes into BIS where they're new. Is that ever mentioned in the interview?
I did do my due diligence, so I knew there was some costumes coming. And I'll tell you what, the fact that you said that's pretty funny. I ended my spiel when I was trying to basically promote myself and get this job with the title was I am not afraid to dress up. I'm not afraid to wear costumes. It was all the Halloween costumes and stuff that we had done in the past. So I'm game for it, man. It's fun. I love the energy. I love how it's just fun. It brings people over and it's a talking point. You know, why are you dressed up as a parrot today? Well, let me tell you why. This is us at BIS. Great pivot.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, Casey, diving right into our topic today of leadership, what, in your opinion, defines a leader, or what's the definition of a leader to you?
Man, that's a great question. And I think it varies from individual to individual. But I look at a leader who recognizes the team and recognizes that there is a plan or develops that plan. And how does he get his team and recognize their strengths, their weaknesses, build on those strengths, utilize those strengths, understand their weaknesses, maybe provide resources for those weaknesses, coach them up on those weaknesses, provide a skill set maybe to help those weaknesses and or remove obstacles from those weaknesses. So really getting the team together, showing that you love them, having a rapport. You don't have to have a great relationship, but you have to be able to reach members of your team. You have to know what makes them tick. And everybody is different. I learned that in coaching. There's different coaching styles, there's different learning styles. And you have to know the individual and you have to really care about the individual to get them to their goal. The great thing about BIS is we're surrounded by great leaders and great individuals. So it's really a lot of get out of their way and how can I help you get to where you want to go? And kind of seeing that big picture. And BIS has done a great job of laying that framework down between meetings and organization from the top to the bottom. So leading here is much easier than many other places I've been.
And Casey, in your time as a coach and your time when you joined your other company as well, what did you learn from both those aspects of leadership, and how do you apply those now to your role at BIS?
Kind of what I just hit on with the coaching aspect is, how do you reach different personalities and different people? How do you recognize their skills? How do you recognize their weaknesses? And then putting that together for a common plan, a common goal, and helping everybody get to that common goal. So kind of a servant leadership. I feel great when I help people reach a goal. If I do help people reach a goal, I love the feeling that it gives them. I love the look on their face, and I love the sense of accomplishment. I love winning. That's just in the coaching. So shifting into sales, very successful as a coach, didn't lose a lot. And sales is different. You're going to lose. You're going to be told no. You're going to be hit with obstacles that aren't just on a field or things that you can't manage, maybe out of your control. So learning how to pivot, learning how to come up with scenarios when you do hear a no, or you do hear or you do feel an obstacle that arises. How do you problem solve around that? How do you teach your team? So it's really just observing, organizing, listening a lot, and understanding how do we get over this obstacle, or how do I give you the skill set to get through that obstacle, or the resources to get through that obstacle and come out on top. So coaching individuals, kind of learn that part of it. And then the sales type of leadership is there's going to be a lot more no's. There's going to be a lot more obstacles in your way, and figuring out quickly how to overcome those with the strengths within your team or within yourself.
Absolutely, Casey. And one of the big things about, as you mentioned before a little bit ago, is that we have a lot of great leaders at BIS. And the old term that kind of gets thrown around sometimes that there's too many chefs in the kitchen. There's all the, you have a bunch of leaders right here. Everyone's got different opinions. Everyone wants to do something different or believes that we should do it this way and not that way. But I think for us, the cool thing about that is we have all these leaders and great ideas, but everybody is willing to share and everyone's willing to sacrifice. If someone else has the better idea or the better option, they're able to go with it, and and we're able to kind of flow with that a little bit more smoothly than I believe a lot of other places do. So my next question is that, for all those leaders out there, again, we have a lot of A players, as Brandon K says here at BIS. How does one grow as a leader? Again, you have a lot of leadership or managers out there, but you also have leaders that are up and coming. And for somebody that's trying to grow and become a leader, how does one grow to do that, in your opinion?
Yes, sir. Well, in BIS specifically, and I'll talk outside of BIS, they do a great job of organizationally providing leadership tools, whether it's books, podcast, or just resources to read, watch, or listen. So you really have to just have the drive to do that at BIS. And you look around and everybody does. And you mentioned all the great leaders. I think what we really do well at BIS is recognizing people's strengths and letting them lead the charge in those general areas that they have their strengths, and just putting people in those opportunities to have success. So that's just it's as a former coach and a coach at heart, it's great to see, the mission, the core values, and the vision, and just remind people that that's what we are. All right. And if you're that, you're here, and you're here for a reason. Now, how do you grow outside of that? Like I said, BIS does a great job of doing that. Reading books. I got two right here that sit on my desk, and I read these when I first started coaching. Wooden, old school coach, Pat Riley, The Winner Within. I know you can't see that, but there it is. I'm not a big reader, to be honest with you, but I have shifted to the audiobooks. And like I said, BIS does a great job of providing different avenues to read different topics and what they think will work or whatnot. So reading, listening, and then just caring, man. You got to care about your team. You got to have a rapport. Like I said, the relationships aren't always going to be great. You're going to, like I said, you love folks, and then some days you just don't like them, but you do love them, and you're going to want to get the best out of them. So just continuing to listen, recognize what's around you, using those resources, and working hard. I mean, and I'm not a big reader, but I'm sitting here with these audiobooks left and right, trying to basically hone my craft and get better, and never think you know it all, because as soon as you get there, you're done. You got to always continue and be willing and wanting to learn. And like I said, at BIS, you just look around and you can learn. I can turn around and look at you and learn. I can look left and learn. I can look right and learn. So just being humble. There's people out there, especially in BIS, that can teach you things and make you better. So just being aware and looking around.
Absolutely, man. I gotta say, personally, again, me and Casey, again, he is my manager, so I work in the sales team, and I gotta say, it's been, again, I said it's the best year because it's been so great to have somebody come in and lead us as a team and get us to where we need to be and reaching our goals. I can't wait to see what we can do going into the future as well. And Casey, if anybody looks up Casey, as a coach, he was great as a coach and also great as a player as well. So you ever look up his name, he's got some reputation to him, and he's a great guy. I can't say enough about him, and joining us on the podcast today. And Casey, again, I want to appreciate you for doing that, because I know you're such a busy guy and taking the time to visit with us today. With you being here now for just a little over a year, we're just about to wrap things up here on today's episode. What would you like people to know about you, and also out there for people that you haven't a chance to meet yet, what would you like them to know about Casey Osborne?
What you see is what you get. I'm as genuine as they come. I actually talked about that last night at a board meeting. People actually mentioned they love my energy, and that's just, I love meeting new people. I was in my wheelhouse last night, so it's kind of a gift. I was up in Northeast Texas, so they speak my language. But yeah, just be genuine. Don't get yourself caught in lies. Be honest. Have a plan, and that's what I do. I mean, I try to show up prepared. I'm not always going to have the answer, but I'm going to look you in the eye and tell you I'll try to find that answer, and I'll be honest with you. I'm not going to BS you. And once again, we're trying to get to a common goal. My goal is to basically have you accept me and my role, right? Whether I'm trying to sell to you, be your friend, or be a colleague. So figuring out how to work together. And like I said, for me, is what you see is what you get. Yeah, that's it, man.
He's the man, and we're great to have him on our team here at BIS. And Casey, again, man, thank you for taking the time to join us today here on the podcast.
Thank you, Josh. We got a great team here. I love your energy as well, and I love these podcasts. So I'm excited about it. I'm ready to see it when it gets edited, and hopefully you make me look great, brother.
Hey, always, my man, always. Again, if you ever want to reach out to Casey, feel free. Give us a call at the number 800-247-9045. Also, you can email Casey as well, casey.osborne@bisconsultants.com, or even send us email to the sales inbox, sales@bisconsultants.com. And that's going to wrap things up today on today's episode. We've been talking with our sales manager, Casey Osborne, over leadership and the value of it. Again, Casey, thank you so much, man. Appreciate it, and can't wait to see what we do going forward.
Thank you, Joshy.
Awesome, man. Well, hey, thank you so much again. For Casey Osborne, I'm Josh Green, and this is another edition of the BIS Podcast. Again, until next time, so long and goodbye. That will wrap us up for Season 3 of the BIS Podcast. We appreciate everyone that has tuned in, and we can't wait to have you back listening again for Season 4 starting in January. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Until next time, this is Josh Green saying so long and goodbye.